Hi guys, today we talk about HTTPS methods. So uh, mostly in our real time, right? So always use these HTTP methods uh, to create a record, to get the records, to update the records, and to delete the records on the server, right? So, so now we'll discuss about get. So when this get method will be used, okay? The get method is used to retrieve a resource from the server. Suppose when you apply a get method, okay? So the server will give the data back. So while applying the get method, uh, definitely we need kind of so ID to identify the record on the server. So for example, so for example, so we have application, we are calling some backend server. So when from our back application, when we apply the get method, so by passing ID, suppose I here I am passing ID 100, okay. So I am trying to get a customer information here. I am passing the URL and so I am passing a ID. So this ID, will identify the record on the backend server and give the response back. So that's what about get. Okay. Now we'll move to next method that is called post method. So the post method is used to submit data to server. So it creates a new resource on the server. So when we apply the post method, the new record will be created on the server. Okay. So how will you pass this again? We see that example. Suppose okay. Suppose take this post example. So when we pass right. So from application, suppose on the back end you are trying to insert a new record. So we by applying the post method, so we pass the URL and we pass complete payload of the request. Okay, when you pass this, so this customer information will be recorded and backend server and give a response back. So this is what about post method. Now I am coming to put method. The put method is used to update a resource on the server. So put requests are typically used to update an existing resource such as existing user account. So what is this? This is talking about, So this put method is mainly to update the record on the server. Suppose we can update only if the record is already exist. Okay, if it does not exist, it will not update. Okay, so once the create method, the create has been done with post method, right? So once post has been executed, that id, I mean that record has been created. So on top of that, we can apply a put method to update the existing record. For example, so previously we inserted one record for 100 record for 100 id, right? So for example, from application, we are calling put method by giving this endpoint. Here previously we given the name like Sonu. That's it. Now I have additionally added TT and salary has been increased some amount here. Okay. So by in the payload, I have updated the records. But when you giving the right payload, you need to give complete payload. So you should not leave anything when applying the put method. So once you pass this right payload with the updated records, updated fields, okay, by adding any values, changing any values. So when you pass this right, when you apply this put method, so that record will be updated on backend server. That's that's all about put method. So now I am moving to delete. So as you know already, right? Generally, in the by delete keyword, we can understand that. So it deletes the record on the server. Okay. The next one is patch method. So is it similar method like a put? But so when applying the patch, we need not to send complete payload. So particularly on which element you are trying to update the value, only that element we can pass in payload. For example, what I'm talking about, see the patch. So when I apply the patch in backend server, so here I am trying to only change the salary. So in the previous, right, when updating the record, we kept salary like 60,000. Now I am giving salary 70,000. So only I am giving one element here. We are not giving complete payload. So only that single element we are trying to update the value for single element. So the same way, we are applying the patch method and giving the endpoint and giving the um, only the one element. So this is called partial update. We call it patch is for partially update. Okay. So when you pass this, only salary get updated. So it means the record has been updated partially. Okay. So here when you send a single element update, anything like maybe you can to attach one more element for one, but you don't want to pass complete payload. So when you send this element, right, along with this method and applying the patch method along this endpoint, so this will update on the backend server. So it is called partially update. Okay. Partially update the record. So next, I'm talking about header. So when we call header method is similar to a get method, but it's only return the header of the response. So without an actual content, it will not return the content of the response. See, body of the it will not return the body of the response. It will only give the header information of the response. So for example, when we talk about header, so see this picture, application, suppose if you call method header, so when you go to the backend server, this will give the header information along. It will not give any payload back. Okay. So that's what about header information. Again, I'm going to for optional now. So what is the optional method here? So the upsell method is used to retrieve information about a resource such as the allowed method and header. So with this optional method, so we can retrieve methods and header of the on the server, method and header of the response. So this is response from the server. Okay. So when you talk about when you send the request, so with this method option, so you will receive the method and header information of the response of the server. For example, let's see option. So when we send, right, this, suppose I'm passing this. No need to pass. I know. No need to pass exactly identity number. Maybe you can send just like a URL. So for this service and the server, it will return method and header information. Okay, I'm moving to next. Next one is connect method. The connect method is used to establish a network connection to a resource, usually for use with a proxy. So generally, when you're trying to do the application to application communication, suppose from my application I'm trying to call the backend server, so I want to check the connectivity whether it has been established or not, right? So that case is right. Generally, so we send a the host name. So with protocol and port number, with connect method, it gives a response whether its connection has been established or not. It's kind of firewall connection test or TCP connection test. So this connect method has been used for, will be used for to test the connectivity. Okay, whether it might be firewall or TCP connection. So we have to use this connect method. Okay, maybe you got it right. I'll move to next. So we have trace method. The trace method is used to retrieve diagnostic trace of the request and response message for the debugging purpose. So it will be give, it will give the complete trace information for debugging, whether it may be a request or response, right, of the server. Okay, it will give the complete information. So the next method, copy method is used to make a copy of resource on the server. It just so just make the resource on the server. It does server information, like so what kind of server it is, what kind of person it is, all this information has been retrieved. It just copy. Okay, that's it. So we go to lock, right? So lock method is used to lock a resource on the server to prevent other users from the modifying it. So what is, if you want to lock in the record? So no, I mean, so once you apply this lock record, right? So no, um, there is no action cannot, there is no action, no, the action will not be performed for a put or something, patch, because once you log the record, you cannot do any updates on that, right? So we can log the record. So once we log, right, so no one cannot update and do the changes on the records. So it means, so no one cannot perform that put or patch operation once you apply this lock method. So thanks for this seeing this video. Thank you.